Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move! James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up? Welcome back to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name is Nick Engvall with my guys, Robbie and Mike, to talk some kicks. What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man. I'm just batting down the hatches at the house, man. Just making it happen.
There's only so much work you can do until you look out the window and see the birds flying. Then you get really introspective of how I am not free like a bird.
I just like to point out that Robbie, before we started recording, was talking about, well, you know, as long as I get my work done, hang out, smoke, and play video games, it's kind of like normal life anyway if I had all the free time.
Correct. I was just trying to think of something goofy to say, but real talk, this is like another Saturday afternoon right now, just day 10 of it.
Yeah, right. This is weird. Like we typically record nighttime, and I'm looking at the sun right now, so that shows you what we're working with right now.
Yeah. Well, so before we get into the episode, I wanted to read a review as we usually do. And this week's review comes from Rematch Vintage. 10 out of 10, big recommend. So much to love about this podcast. Whether you're new to the game or veteran status, these guys will lead you through fun, thought-provoking, and soulful discussions. Subscribe and tune in, y'all. And he used soulful, SOLE-FUL, which I appreciate. So shout out to Rematch Vintage for leaving us a review. If you have a couple minutes to leave us a review, which now we know you have plenty of time, head over to iTunes and leave us a review, please. It definitely helps us spread the love and get to grow our community a little bit and get a larger audience listening. And we appreciate everybody for supporting and rocking with us. And also on top of that, if you're interested in more content, we've got extra episodes going up on our Patreon page at patreon.com/sneakerhistory. They usually go up once every 2 weeks. But I don't know. We might try to do a little bit more now that we're all spending a little more quality time at home. So
shout out. Rematch is my coworker, Angela, and her husband, Jeff. So
nice.
Thank you guys. It's really nice. She is very smart like that. And have it be known, she comes in with like the heatest of heat. Like any hot shoe you can think of, she has on foot. And I get low key jealous. But then I remember Jeff works at Nike. So he gets all of the love. Like imagine your spouse working at a big brand and be like, oh, here you go, babe. Got these for like $80. And you open it and it's like the Off-White Vapor Max. And like, oh, okay, thanks. Like that'd be nice, right?
I just imagined that, and it was like a tear came out of my eye. Just one.
No, came in on a Tuesday with Sean Weatherspoon. It's like, oh, he got these last night. They had a random stock of like really small feet. She's a 4.5. I am really weird about remembering people's shoe size. I can look at your feet and guess what shoe size you are with most people. But yeah, man, it's just like crazy heat. So thank you for the review.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening and leaving us a review, definitely. So obviously coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, is top of mind for probably everybody listening, but for us as well. And I think this episode, we'll probably get into some stuff around that. So just to give everybody a heads up, if you're looking for some positivity around this whole debacle that's going on, hopefully we can make you laugh a little bit. But if you don't want it, then just a heads up, that's what we're probably going to talk about on this episode. So I wanted to, well, let me slow down. What are you guys rocking? What are you guys looking at copping this week?
I'm rocking my Jordan 1 New York to Paris SB collaboration as I walk around my house. To copping, I mean, it's kind of a weird statement because, I guess I'm still looking at shoes, but I'm not really like, ooh, I want to buy this right now. But I think I've really just seen the new pictures of the Jordan 5, the Fire Red that's coming out. I think I've kind of like fallen in love with that shoe again, just seeing all like the in-hand pictures and like that may have to be added to the collection eventually.
For me, that Fire Red 5, I think about it when I'm alone at night. I'm just kidding. But I think about that shoe a lot. I want it really bad. The Hair Jordan 6 came out like in-hand photos of them, and they are a million times better than I gave credit a couple weeks ago. So those I won't – I'd buy them on sale, but I'm not really trying to purchase, but I really like them. But outside of that, I'm kind of like Mike. I'm not even looking at shoes, though. I know the 5s are coming out, so those are just in the back of my mind. But Kith is going to be getting more of my money here probably this Friday. So I've been buying more clothes than shoes, but talk to me when the Jordans release, and we'll be talking.
All right. So I'm wearing the Reebok Answer 7, the white and red version. Kind of dug out some older shoes to wear this week, so I've got more of those coming. Like Mike, I don't really leave the house other than to take the dog out, so that's about the only wear they get, unfortunately. But and then as far as what I'm looking at potentially copping, that like SB Dunk mid that's inspired by the Griffey Max 1, like the freshwater black. Definitely the like one shoe that I'm most interested in at the moment.
Clean. Is that a vomit sound or excited sound? I can't tell from Robbie.
I am dry heaving because I haven't had it in a while.
What, dude? That is a clean shoe. I forgot it came out.
That thing is atrocious, man. Once you go mid, I can't commit. That's not a real.
What?
I tried to fit commit in there, but now like the colorway is cool, but it's like seeing a PT Cruiser truck. It doesn't make sense. Like that silhouette that doesn't look good as a mid in my book. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I just feel like I'd wear them regardless, low, mid, or high. That colorway is pretty dope. The little nod to Griffey. So, yeah.
Have it be known, I didn't say what shoe I'm wearing right now because I've been rocking these plaid Ross house sandals.
Yeah.
For like 4 days straight. I've changed my t-shirt. This is the second shirt I've put on since last Thursday. I've been wearing the same t-shirt every day. I changed my underwear and my socks. That's it. Corona got me like I don't know how to do laundry. I don't know.
Oh man.
So speaking of Corona, there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously for everybody, but I thought it was kind of interesting over the last few days on the resale side. Goat, Flight Club, Stadium Goods, and StockX all announced that they were closing their retail spaces or their drop-off locations. And then on the other side of the business, I saw that Under Armour committed to donating $2 million to coronavirus relief, and Nike is donating over $15 million to coronavirus in terms of giving back to their employees' local communities. So some good stuff coming from some of these brands, which I don't know, I like to see.
I have
Yeah.
no, I got to tap into that. So my friend is a contract worker at Nike. They're all laid off unless you can do your job from home, which he can't do. So it's great that they're giving away, $15 million to everybody, but it would have been dope if they didn't lay off their contract workers. And I'm sure a lot of people are going through that. I don't want to, air grievances too bad. It's like that big shiny headline of $15 million to other people, but contract workers are screwed. Like that asterisk isn't out there. So I want to make that a little point for my friend.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was like, who you are. He listens. So there you go.
No, but that's been a big thing. And I got real interested. I can't remember who it was. I was just replying to on Twitter. And actually it might have been Jock. I can't, he was just asking about like what happens to like the contract workers. And so in my normal 9-to-5 life, I actually work in the HR industry, and it's crazy just kind of going through just some of the like regulations and rules. And contract workers, yeah, they're signing a contract for X amount of time, but it's really sad that they give you their work, they give you their everything that a normal W-2 worker would give you. Like they work their butts off, if not harder, because they want another contract. But the companies aren't obligated to pay them if these kinds of things happen. Which, to take a turn to like things like the NBA, that's why a lot of those people, it's like, what's going to happen to them, because they don't work 40-hour weeks. They're contracted out a lot of times. Part-time workers don't have the same benefits as well, and it's just really, really tough. And that's why it's such a big deal. People don't understand why it's a big deal that these people are getting help from these athletes, these owners, well, a couple of owners, and these companies. Is because under this obligation of just like work laws, they don't have to pay them, and they won't just give them a normal salary. So it's just it's tough, because a lot of people do have those particular types of jobs. And just like Robbie's buddy, you can't really, your hands are tied. If you sign a contract knowing that, hey, if anything happens, I won't get paid, and you're just hoping for someone to have some kindness to be able to help you out, knowing that this was something out of their control. They didn't go out and spread the virus themselves. They didn't it wasn't their fault. So it's nice to see that some of these big companies are assisting with the employees, but like just like Robbie said, if you're going to give to relief, just make sure you target the people who did something for you before this happened.
Yeah, I think you make a great point with, Nike and the big headline, right? Like Nike's really good at that, and it's no disrespect to them. It's a part of business. It's a part of, being a successful business is being able to give back. And I think for the people that are, the contractors that get let go in these times, it's super unfortunate. And, a lot of companies work like Nike, we have plenty of friends that are at Nike that started as contract employees or, contracted workers. And, it's a stressful year or two of working your way into that business for a lot of people. So, I feel for them. And, me personally, I'm running into the same problem where one of the companies that I was working for, as a contractor, just basically let me know that they're cutting back, a lot of their production and a lot of their kind of any employees that, are contractors are easier to cut ties with because there's no residual, right? Where if you let go of an actual employee, you might have, unemployment or health insurance or any of those benefits that carry over for any amount of time afterwards, or, in some cases, severance pay and all those kind of things. So it's definitely trying times. And, I think as much as I have personal understanding and relate to the people that are contractors that are going through similar stuff that I'm going through, I at least want to acknowledge that it's cool to see these brands, committing money when you never know if the money is going to keep flowing in the way it has been for them. So to jump into the donation kind of game this early speaks volumes, regardless of how much or who it is, because, a lot of these companies have made a lot of money for the past 10, 20 years. And, it's good to see some of those profits at least going back into something that's going to hopefully help everyone, across the board.
Yeah. Hopefully it all works out and gets to the right places. That's all you can ever hope for when these donations are made.
Speaking of donations, you should probably join our Patreon. But on a happier note, I guess it's a lopsided happy note, right? We're supposed to be getting some kind of, assistance, or this $1,000. Let's call it what it is. It's supposed to be getting $1,000, something like that, and that's great if we can all get that efficiently. But knowing the way things are ran in Washington, it's probably going to be having jumping through a ring of fire, swimming 5 miles, and all this extra stuff. So with that said, every website that we all have subscriptions to are getting emails flooded out to all their customers. Mike, you said you've been getting a lot of sales emails. What would people be doing with that money? Are you going to try to start going for sales, or are you going to try to pay your rent?
Man, that's a heck of a question, because I really hope that if it is relatively quote unquote easy to get, I hope people can use this to better the situation if they need it to be bettered. I mean, I hope those people get it first. But it's tough, because this is kind of the same thing as getting a tax return. People have good intentions to begin with, but then you have a stack of money in their hand. They're like, ooh, things. And I know that this is meant to boost the economy back up, for people to go in and spend money in the businesses in their city to get a flow of, cash back into the system. But me personally, I don't really see myself spending it on anything at this point in time. Will I want to? 100%. but I got to try to be a grown up and spend it. But I don't know. I feel like you're going to see there's going to be an influx. First, it's going to go down while people waiting for this money. Like, and for all intent and purposes, sneakers, since that's what we're talking about, I feel like the resale market is going to drop off because a lot of things have been postponed and pushed back till late April, looks like. And then people don't have the disposable income right now, most likely, at least in most cases, to buy anything. So I feel like the market's going to drop. Then $1,000 going to come in, and then there's going to be a small peak because there's going to be that couple of weeks where people have a couple of dollars that they're going to use to spend. So I don't know. It could be a good and bad thing, just depending on how you look at it.
I don't think any of us are just jumping out there and spending $1,000 on sneakers if this money does get sent around to everybody, right? I think we're all kind of in that same boat of being much more thoughtful about the way we approach this kind of stuff because we're kind of at the beginning of something that we don't know where the end is, and we don't know what that looks like, and there's a lot of just things that are up in the air for the foreseeable future. And I think that hopefully this money gets sent out to people that really need it, and people are able to survive and get by and keep their lives moving forward. But also, that said, I think it'd be interesting to talk about, because that $1,000 mark has been tossed around a lot between Andrew Yang's whole presidential campaign and now this coronavirus stuff from the current administration. What would you guys like, either specifics or generally, what would you spend $1,000 on sneakers or sneaker related things if you were just handed $1,000 and you had to spend it on something connected to sneakers?
Let me see. So, Robbie always tells me to, just make it one big purchase, make it happen. And I'm just really bad at that. I always want to see if I can spread it out among many things. So I think it would have to be a couple of purchases. One, finally buying those plum dunks that everyone probably sick of hearing me talk about. Finally buy a pair of Shadow Jordan 1s. And see, then I start getting fuzzy right there because there's not a ton of other things I want. I mean, probably a pair of Galaxy LeBron 9s. And then if I had to spend on something sneaker related, I'd just buy some gift cards and wait till something else comes out later.
That's like the most cop-out answer ever. Come on, Mike.
Look here, man.
Gift cards?
You said I had to look. I can buy like a Nike gift card or something and buy something later for retail. Look, I don't know. there's not many things that are like. There's a lot of sneakers I want, but when you put the money in my hand, I'm like, I always second guess myself. It's terrible.
All right, I'm gonna put a pause on that. I'm gonna let you think about it for a little bit, and I'm gonna ask Robbie what he thinks.
I already have like 16 things picked out, probably.
I'm gonna redeem Mike's answer. A lot of shoes came to mind, like 4 of them shot to mind right away. And the one that came to mind first, because Mike, you got to learn this. You think long, you think wrong. Within reason. If you think long, you think wrong. So once that happens, quick decision. Air Max 1 Atmos from 2017. They're like $975 in my size right now. That the 1,000 covers shipping. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna spend $1,000 flat. That jade elephant print looks so fucking good. I've always wanted a pair. Like, I get wet in my britches when I see a pair of them in the street. Like, that's like one shoe where like if someone just gave me money, it's like, go get something you want. I'm like, that's the shoe I'm getting. Like, hands down.
Just the fact you said wet in your britches, I don't think I can ever follow up another statement from that.
Yeah, I'm watching I've been at home a lot, man. Watching some like British TV stuff. Like, I don't know.
So for me, I have, so if I had to spend $1,000 on sneakers right now, The one shoe I've been thinking about the most that I did not purchase that I should have purchased, what was it, 2018, was the Beams a few Asics Gel Light 3, the orange koi. That shoe is probably like $500 right now. I love the shoe. I love the originals too, but orange being my color, like that shoe is just super fire to me. And I actually got some of the accessories that they sold, some t-shirts and backpacks and things like that when it came out. I just didn't get the shoes. So that would be first on my list. I think next would probably be a pair of the Volt Air Max 90s that are kind of available for right around retail. I didn't buy them, and I feel almost obligated to buy a pair of Air Max 90s right now because they're back for the anniversary. There's a lot of good ID versions or Nike by You versions available. And then
I paid retail for that shoe. I feel so dumb, but I wear it all the time, and it's super clean. They look so damn good. So it's like, whatever, 120, whatever. But go buy those.
I mean, I think it's. There's been a lot of. I like the pink Air Max 90 that's out now too. Like I like the royal or purplish version. You know, that like classic color blocking on the Air Max 90. I just feel like I want to get one. I've never had any of the Volt like versions of the Air Max 90, so that one's kind of like top of the list when it comes to Air Max 90s. And then I would probably say that I'm going to go further back and find some more obscure things. So I have, let's see, like Stussy Court mids, like with a like snakeskin swoosh. So I have the black pair, and I always wanted the white pair. You can usually find them for like $200 or $300. That would be an easy one for me. I'm also kind of wishing that I would have picked up True Blues a few years back. So that might be the last one on my list, or Black Cat 4s, since they seem to be around retail or below. But I think I would also spend a little bit of that $1,000 on like organization things, because right now I'm so disorganized and stuff is so everywhere between like storage and my apartment. It's just like I'm in struggle mode right now. So part of my spending would be on some form of get my shit together.
All right, so you guys thoroughly made me feel awful for my answer, so I put a little bit more thought into it. You guys making me spend $1,000. Look, I'm trying to pocket half of it, all right?
It's hypothetical, man. It's hypothetical.
I know, it's not hypothetical. I'm terrible. It's like, can I put these imaginary dollars in my pocket? Perfect.
Hey, I got an idea for you. If you didn't want to spend it, you want to pocket part of it, you could invest in either camera equipment or whatever for that YouTube channel that you got popping, right?
See? Okay, well, there we go. See, now we can bring this full circle. See, I went and looked up more sneakers. I'm like, ooh, I actually do want these. But yes, so I will stick with the shoes I said, but I would definitely invest in some more lighting equipment, a couple microphones, and probably a backdrop and a new lens, and boom, $1,000 spent, and it makes the world happy because the channel looks a little brighter.
So, Robbie, if you weren't going to do the Air Max 1, the Atmos Air Max 1, what would be your next choice?
I already have it. See, the tiers, my brain's like that that Zach Galifianakis meme where it's like all the numbers going in front of it. Like you give me a price point or like a stipulation. It's like, okay, I already know. Gold toe, Air Jordan 1s, like the top 3, where they're different. It's like the top 3 gold toes.
Yeah.
And then the Desert Ore Off-White Air Max 90. I'd have to spend a little bit. I'd have to probably put $200 in. So I would put $200 my own money to get 2 pairs.
Polar opposites. Robbie's spending some of his own money. I'm trying to keep the money they're giving me.
Yeah, so my brain always goes that way. I'm like, even growing up, I'm like, okay, I'm getting $100 for a birthday, and I'm like, I'm 14 years old, whatever. I'm like, okay, I could put 150 of my own and get an Xbox. So it's like always thinking like, what can I add to it to get something I wouldn't normally get on my own?
That's a fair thought.
See, for me, I'm generally programmed to do like almost exactly the opposite. I'm like, my first thought when I'm like, $1,000 on sneakers, it's like, okay, well, if I hit Nordstrom Rack, Ross, Marshalls, I could probably pick up 3 or 4 pair there for around $100. Then I got, plenty more stops to go. And realistically, if somebody just said, here's $1,000 and buy sneakers, my gut is to just be like, let me stretch this into as many pairs as I possibly can. And I'd probably somehow end up with like 30 or 40 pairs of shoes that I like, but probably a lot of shoes that most people don't care about at all.
And that's
something else.
You. I amend my second answer. I'm gonna get the spider. I was just thinking, Nick and I talked about the Spider-Man origin stories 2 episodes ago. So I was like, I've been thinking about those ever since. So I'm gonna get those instead of the gold toe top 3s. So I was thinking about those Spider-Mans. I need those Spider-Mans. I might just go buy those right now. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. Inject the economy. Go ahead, Robin. Do it.
Robbie's like full on getting flex picks off from home. rest of us are like waiting it out. Like, are we gonna survive this? Robbie's like, yo, I just ordered a new shoe for every day this next week with my $1,000.
Unboxings during coronavirus.
I do stuff like that, and I just hate posting this. Like, I don't like the fanfare or like the event of like, hey, look at my shoes. I want you to look at them organically and think, damn, look at those shoes. So I don't get the same fix that I'm looking for. That's why I post shoes on Instagram all the time, but it's not like flex, because I'd rather just do it in person. I don't want to put effort in to like. You mean I have to get out, go in the closet, find the shoes, find socks, no. I'll let it happen organically when I wear the outfit 2 months down the road.
There you go.
So that's an interesting conversation in itself. So originally, like with Instagram, when it started, a lot of people would see the posts that I would make. And, there's some sort of like joy that comes from that, right? I don't know if it's authentic or not, but like, you're like, hey, I posted this and, out of 100 people that follow me, 50 people liked it or whatever that is. And over time, my followers have grown. Like, I'm somewhere around 16,000 followers on Instagram, but
flex.
But it's very minimal, the number of people that actually see or like or comment on my posts a lot of the time. So that's part of why I, instead of doing like, the daily sneakers, which I actually realized that I forgot to post, but I'll post on Twitter when we get off here. But I decided to post it on Twitter because at least like you could go through and see them all, and like it'll be a cool spot. There's at least like more people see my posts on Twitter than they do on my Instagram page, even though I have way less followers. So I don't know how that works, but it's interesting. It's also really interesting to think about like what Robbie was saying, where you want people to see it organically, which is exactly how I shop for sneakers, right? Like, I'll buy a shoe that, or wear, not even buy, like I wear shoes that are slightly off of the norm of what's cool, right? Like, even if I had a bunch of Travis Scotts or a bunch of Off-Whites or a bunch of Yeezys, I probably wouldn't be wearing them right now because I like to sit on things for a while and let people forget about them a little bit and then wear them. And that to me is like the real joy of sneakers, because it starts a conversation of like, oh, damn, I forgot about those. Or, man, you made me realize that I need to wear mine too, blah, blah, blah. But what's really weird about that whole conversation is social media is the exact opposite of that, right? Like it's not designed for the casual, like, come across something that you're interested in and like, connect with somebody over it. Not saying that you can't, right? Like you can find people that are interested in the things you're interested in, but there are so many people that also don't post to social media at all. And, like those people doesn't mean they're any less into sneakers or into, whatever those things are. It's just that they don't post to social media about it. So it's kind of interesting. It's like it has the opposite effect of what you really would have in real life. And it's just something interesting to think about. But the reason why I say all that is because I'm curious what you guys think all of this like coronavirus stuff will do to social media and in terms of like sneakers. And if people will just keep going and it'll just be like nothing ever happened and we'll continue to see all this stuff, or is this going to like change the direction of things in your guys' opinion?
Go ahead, Robbie, you got it.
No, just before we completely segue off of that, I was at the coffee shop before all this happened, and my friend Bennett and I walked in there. I'm like, oh, dude, you got a fit off. And he's like, you did too. We're just talking. But then this guy visiting from New York walks in, and he's kind of like looking, and he comes up and says, in all my time in Portland, it was raining, like it's been there one day, you were the first two people to get fits off I've seen. And we started talking about shoes, and that was like 1,000 times more gratifying than 2,000 likes on the internet. Because someone like we started talking, and then he does music. We started like I got to know this guy, and it was really cool. So, in terms of like social media and how that's kind of be affected, my timelines looks exactly the same. I don't know about you guys, but it's still like, business as usual in the shoe department from what I can see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that too. I mean, I haven't really changed anything. I mean, I don't typically take whole fit pictures because, I mean, I don't dress up just for a picture. So literally what I'm wearing in these pictures I put up there is what I'm wearing for the day. That's just either it's going to be something that, it's really popular or really obscure. Like yesterday I posted Stealth 3s from 2011. That shoe got crapped on so hard when I worked at Champs when we put those out. And it's hilarious to see how many people are like, oh, I don't remember those. Oh, it's just, that just kind of goes back to Nick's point of sitting on something for a while and bringing it back out years later when people forget about it to see the reaction. But I just think we're going to see more pictures, and hopefully it's going to be different stuff, not just, this one came out this week. I got nothing but Travis Scott's on my feed, or nothing but Off-White that came out. So hopefully people start digging into collection and kind of start, I forgot I had these. I like these, and have a little bit of a different appreciation for them. And that way we start to see more diversity in what people actually have in their collection, as opposed to, I know this one just came out, so let me get 10,000 likes. Let me go ahead and put that one on there. So this will hopefully spark more of a conversation like Robbie had at the coffee shop. So I don't know, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. And I think that conversation you referenced, Robbie, like that's exactly what it's all about to me. And I think that I think it's going to be interesting to see how, I guess like some of the YouTube creators and like the influencers that are getting sent product and stuff, how that all plays out, because I just feel like it's almost inevitable that brands are going to cut back on some of that stuff during this time, because you just don't really know what that's all going to look like. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that it continues to be, something that people share, and, maybe even create some new relationships and new, kind of opportunities to create content and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I don't know. it's an interesting thing. I would love to know what everybody listening thinks. I think we're going to be going through some interesting times for sure, and I don't know if anybody will be, I don't see anybody just like getting rid of all their stuff, like, panicking or anything. But at the same time, I think that people will be a little more selective about their purchases, which, the downward flow of how that changes things will be interesting because, when everybody's buying a lot of sneakers, that creates money for, shoes to be sent to YouTubers or celebrities or, all those things. And, like right now, we don't even have the tunnel pics from the NBA guys to show off their sneakers. Like, how are we going to survive?
Well, so that's really great you brought that up, because what a lot of people don't understand about the art of buying shoes from the seller aspect. Let's say you own Sneaker Blog A and you have links and you have like affiliate links with Nike, Adidas, JD Sports, Shoe Palace, whoever it is. And when somebody goes and buys a pair of shoes on their website off of your link, you make a little bit of dough off that. So when people aren't hyped to go buy, the next beautiful Air Max 90 colorway with traditional construction and traditional color blocking and a new pine green, when people don't want to fork over $120 on on the fly or on an impulse buy, when they're scrolling through Sneaker Blog A, that cuts into Sneaker Blog A's money and their revenue. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm that wrong.
No, that sounds about right. I mean, as much as I know about it, it sounds like that'd be kind of the perfect things to come. So, I'm still just kind of just shrugging my shoulders at the whole thing. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna stay over here in my little corner.
I'm also kind of thinking, am I the biggest little bitch in the world? Sean Weatherspoons cost $1,000, and I don't like him. But if I had $1,000, I'm still on that. I'm just like, man, if I had a $1,000 shot, would I actually go buy the Sean Weatherspoons?
Not worth $1,000 to me.
To burn them.
Okay, don't be that guy out there breaking Xboxes the day of release in front of people.
Yeah, I mean, I like those shoes. There's very few shoes that I would spend anywhere close to $1,000 on, like unless it's like an old Soul Collector collab or something really, really special to me. I just would not spend $1,000 on a pair of shoes. So as much as I like that shoe, I just couldn't see spending the money on it. I mean, especially with like the Asics coming out, that's basically like a similar color palette and materials, and it's all vegan. Like I'm just as interested in that Asics as I was the Air Max. So,
are you ready for a follow-up plot twist? I brought that up because you're scrolling. You're at your job, which you still had before the coronavirus, and like you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, and you see Stadium Goods. And you know how they have those really good Instagram posts where you can click on it and you see how much it costs and you can go buy it right there. So it's like, as people, hopefully it doesn't get more desperate, but as people start to tighten up the wallet and think about want versus need, those Stadium Good links are going to get clicked less often. And those $1,000 Sean Weatherspoons are going to look less attractive at that price point. No matter how much you like it,
yeah.
if you have rent to pay, one would think you would pay the rent.
You would hope so. But, Robbie, you said something I had to interject because I just read this as we were talking. It's hilarious. So you said buying something that's basically not essential, like buying Sean Weatherspoons are not essential to your day-to-day living. And as I was scrolling through Twitter a second ago, completely off topic of sneakers, but GameStop has decided to stay open because they decided they're essential retail for this time. So if you need your video games, just know GameStop's going to be open and you can just go call from everybody in that store.
Wow. how many little kids run through that place just wiping their nose and just touching everything.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. There's no way that will not backfire on them.
I sure hope so, because they need to just shut that down. There's no need. You can order video games online now. You don't have to go into a physical store.
100%, you're right. I'm going to play devil's advocate here for just a minute, because I think that things like this are, don't get me wrong, like I don't think you have to do it through the store, but I think there's a lot of people that would use that as like, how am I going to trade in games, right? Like, and let's say this whole coronavirus thing lasts, months. The option to go in and sell your stuff and trade stuff in is a very important piece of that industry that I think, I'm not saying that it's like essential, like a doctor or, a grocery store or, anything like that. But for a lot of people, that might be something that is much more important, in terms of like potentially making money back from the games, and then also like distracting themselves by having new games to play. And I say that because the thing that I saw most recently was that I want to say in Oregon, Colorado, and California, they recently in the last day or two announced that all the marijuana shops could stay open because that was an essential, like business for consumers, which, I mean, I think like, if there is a time for those things to be important, for people to just, take the chill pill and be like, yo, I'm going to just sit on the couch for a few hours and relax. Like there's an argument there for that to be, for that conversation at least, because what I am most concerned for in this whole big scenario is not like people not being able to pay rent and getting evicted, because I think a lot of cities and states are already showing that, hey, shit has hit the fan and we're going to stop people from making it worse for other people. And I think that the one thing that I'm concerned with is that people don't know how to deal with themselves in these situations. So anything that, like, to me, that gives people a little bit of a break without putting other people in harm's way is like, no big deal. Let's not worry about those little things. We saw a lot of announcements recently about like, petty crimes, misdemeanors, like prisoners that were within 30 days of their, release date being let out early. Like there's just a lot of things that I think prove that our system has a lot of flaws. And this is all showing like, hey, we've prioritized wrong things. And now that everybody has this virus to be concerned with, the things are like showing like, hey, here's all the things that we made a big deal about that we shouldn't have, or that we chose that are obviously not essential or not the right way to treat human beings and all of that stuff. But I'll get off the soapbox there, but that's kind of what I was thinking about it.
Yeah, just don't go trade your games though, because they're gonna give you 10 cents. So
yeah,
don't do that.
That's from GameStop. But hypothetically, in the state of Oregon, if you spend like $300 on weed, hypothetically, it's $50 in tax that the state gets. If you've seen a receipt, you hypothetically might know what that looks like. But I'm
you use the word hypothetically.
But no, I mean, that is an essential, because like, think about how many people are stressed out and just need weed, but how much money the state keeps making off of that to fund, emergency rooms and fund essential stuff for the virus combat.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, virus combat.
Stupid.
But it's true. It keeps the nurses and doctors paid, while the other people sit on the couch stoned, not getting sick. So,
well, there you go.
All right. So before we wrap, last question, coronavirus related. Not really, but if you're quarantined and you have to choose 3 pair to take with to wear right now for however long. We don't know how long it's going to be. What are the 3 pairs you pick out of your collection?
I'll have to rapid fire. I take my LeBron 7s, my black cement 3s, and then have to be my Jordan 1s, my white metallic blues, or whatever those are.
Man, I'm going for the off-white ones, the Chicago ones, and one of the first pair of Flyknit racers I see. There's like 5 pairs in there. It's the first one I see because I need something real comfortable when I have to run from people.
You got to run from those zombies.
Yeah, I got my cat in one hand and 2 pairs of shoes in the other.
All right, so I'm taking the Kith United Arrows New Balance 997, the Shattered Backboard ones, and all black Chuck Taylors.
What? Right. What? To be fair, you can just break into a store at that point, Nick, and just grab a pair. Like, just go break in a DSW when the apocalypse happens. Just go take a pair. I
mean, I figure like I can wear those, get around on a skateboard. I'm not going to be worried about beating them up. The Jordan 1s, a little bit of a flex. I get like gives flex. Me the Giants colors. The New Balance, comfortable, gives me some purple for the Kings. I mean, I'm thinking logically here, but all right. Well, we appreciate everybody listening. Let us know what you would do with that $1,000 if you're buying sneakers. What sneakers would you buy? And as always, you can follow us at Sneaker History on all platforms. Make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast if you haven't already. And if you got a chance, leave us a review on iTunes. Also, make sure that you follow my guys, Mike and Robbie. Guys, how can they find him?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Sneaker History as well. And, of course, at Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789. Then on YouTube at Mike Guillory. And, just don't call for nobody. Robbie, where can they find you?
You can find me mulling over what shoes I'm buying for $1,000 at our...
Still looking.
Dude, I'm still like the entire time. RAHBEE 702. The Kith Pippin 1s with the animal print. Ooh, maybe. Ooh.
Are they furry?
Oh, they're furry as hell.
I mean, yeah. So we'll have an updated answer from Robbie in the next episode, I'm sure. But we appreciate everybody listening, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, I wanted to ask a couple favors of you. If you're interested in more content from the Sneaker History crew, become a member of our Patreon page where we post daily content, drop exclusive episodes, and host monthly giveaways. We'll even help you hunt for your grails. Check us out at patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Also, make sure you sign up for our email newsletter at sneakerhistory.com/email. We send out weekly updates on the footwear business and what we're working on here at Sneaker History. Last but not least, take a second to tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how much it means to someone, and it might even plant the seeds for something even bigger. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.